So, TYT did an actual debate about whether Elon Musk is a real Nazi or not. I'm going to check it out.
As I'm sure everyone has seen by now, Elon Musk has made a gesture following President Trump's inauguration that some said obviously looked like a Nazi salute, while others said it just looked like an awkward guy doing an awkward thing. And amongst those falling in the latter camp was none other than the Anti Defamation League, which was founded with the express mission of combating anti Semitism. So, Jake, before I go on, this has already been quite a saga, and I know you're already frustrated with that saga. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so it's interesting to see ADL turn around. I wonder if they got heat for it. We'll talk about that too. But I'm in the middle ground here, so I'm in a world of hurt. Left wing disagrees with me, right wing disagrees with me. I think maybe JR disagrees with me. So I think it's going to be an interesting conversation. So let's give you the facts first and then talk about it.
All right, I got the facts. All right, so following the gesture and the immediate backlash that it received, the ADL tweeted claiming the gesture was not a Nazi salute and that it was just an awkward gesture given in a moment of enthusiasm. And then they added, in this moment, all sides should give one another a bit of grace, perhaps even the benefit of the doubt, and take a breath. This is a new beginning. Let's hope for healing and work toward unity in the months and years ahead. But after getting a pass from the ADL, Musk decided to keep going because what else do children do once they've gotten away with bad behavior? So he tweeted on Thursday, this is a lot, don't say Hess to Nazi accusations. Some people will Goebbels anything down. Stop goring your enemies. His pronouns would have been him, Himmler. Bet you did not see that coming. And then he has a crying, laughing emoji face at the end. And the ADL had no choice but to finally respond. They couldn't see that and say nothing. So Jonathan Greenblatt of the ADL tweeted this. He said, "We've said it hundreds of times before and we will say it again. The Holocaust was a singularly evil event and it is inappropriate and offensive to make light of it. Elon Musk, the Holocaust is not a joke." Can't imagine having to tell that to an adult on Twitter, on his own social media platform of all things. And the ADL responded from their official X account saying, "Making inappropriate and highly offensive jokes that trivialize the Holocaust only serve to minimize the evil and inhumanity of Nazi crimes, denigrate the suffering of both victims and survivors, and insult the memory of the 6 million Jews murdered in the Shoah." So we're going to get into some reactions to all of this, specifically speculation surrounding Elon Musk's actual intent behind his gesture and the tweet. But before we do, Jake, why do you think the ADL was reluctant in the first place to call it the gesture when it happened? Do you think, like, did they want to not overreact? And they did say to give him the benefit of the doubt. Were they trying to stay on his good side, maybe? What do you think?
Yeah, that's what it appears from the outside. Look, I'm not inside the heads of the ADL or Elon Musk, so we're all guessing based on what we've seen here. But Elon Musk has some unfortunate things about Jews in general. Before he got on hot water over it, and so then he went to Israel and did like a make amends tour, and he talked to the ADL, he talked to Netanyahu. So did they strike some sort of deal there? Well, I mean, they went from being mad at him to being very, very happy with him. So maybe they just came to an understanding with no other parts to it, or maybe there's some sort of deal that we don't know. I don't know what that would be, but I do know that after that little tour, the ADL and Netanyahu started covering for him no matter what he did. So I wrote that I thought it was one of the most obvious Nazi salutes I've ever seen. And so I know the ADL, if someone they weren't allies with did that, they would have lost their minds. Okay, I want you to think about this for a second. Imagine if Rashida Tlaib had done that. Come on. Okay, end of conversation. So you know that the ADL is not actually looking out for about anti-Semitism, and they're playing favorites with Elon. My guess as to what happened is that a lot of their supporters who are Jewish Americans are like, wait, why aren't we calling out Nazi salutes anymore? That seems like that's a core part of your job at the Anti-Defamation League. So probably after taking a lot of blowback, and then Elon thinks, oh, I have a get out of jail free card on any kind of anti-Semitism, this or that. So he's like, oh, is this Goring then Hess and ha 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 Nazi, right? And ADL's like, okay, please don't do that. It's getting us in a lot of trouble. Okay, so that's my analysis of that, and I'd be surprised if it was different. But again, I'm not in their heads. On Elon, look, and again, here I've got, if you don't mind me saying, a lot of credibility because we've covered a lot of this before. Laura Ingraham at the Republican convention, and she had raised her hand, and everybody's like, "Oh, that looks like a Nazi salute," and I said, "No, look, guys, a lot of people raise their hands, and sometimes it looks like that. But what Elon did was a salute. That wasn't just raising your, oh, hey, guys, oh, guys, there's a salute. No, he snapped. Look at the snap. No, come on. You tell me he did that on accident?" And the right wing says, a lot of the right wing says, almost all the right wing says, yeah. And they have a lot of different excuses. We have a poll about it. Check it out at wherever we're broadcasting. But they say, oh, he's autistic, or he was just being spazzy, and that's how he is, etc. No. My opinion, again, not in his head, but from that look, and having seen all the other ones that said they're not Nazi salutes, that seemed enormously intentional. So, but I think that he's learned from Donald Trump that troll, right? So he's trolling here, and he does it with plausible deniability, and he says, oh, you warmed my heart, and that's why he was holding his heart before he snapped the salute, right? And I got into a debate about this with Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan defended him and said, look, it was just ill-advised. And I said, then why is it ill-advised? If it doesn't look like a Nazi salute, why is it ill-advised? It's ill-advised because it looks like a Nazi salute, right? So, I'm curious what you guys think, but I know these guys. They troll, and then when they get criticized for it, then they play the victim. Oh, you guys say everything's a Nazi. Oh my God, we're victims.
So,
I think that's what's happening, Gerald. But what do you think?
well, this is the thing. The whole, I think where you were, prefacing maybe the disagreement we may have is whether or not he is a Nazi. So we can get to that later, but. Obviously, we agree that it was a Nazi salute. Let's keep it real. And I'm beyond arguing whether or not something is a Nazi salute anymore. I'm not going to argue whether or not the grass is in front of me and I'm stepping in it. Bro, you're not going to convince me of what's...
Okay. I agree with Jank that it was some fucking trolling from Elon. Way to go, Elon. Pretty good trolling.
What?
I also believe Elon's version of the story, and I think that,
How can you believe Jake's version and Elon's version?
well, that's precisely what I stopped to explain. I think it was some trolling, but I think that it's not primarily trolling. I think it was primarily his heartfelt expression of love and gratitude. And secondarily, also, he doesn't give a fuck and enjoys the fact that people are interpreting it as a Nazi salute. And that's my take. Not that he is a Nazi himself, but he just loves that everyone's slandering him because it gives him a lot of cultural power. Which I totally understand.
So you don't think he was thinking Nazi salute in the moment he was making that gesture?
No, but I do think he was sort of thinking it in the back of his head, if that makes sense. Like, he wasn't trying to do a Nazi salute, but he wasn't trying not to do a Nazi salute.
Sure. It would be very easy for me to do a Nazi salute because I don't know what Nazi salutes are. I don't even know what fucking gesture. I haven't seen the gesture.
I know, right?
So,
Fun fact: on when they debated that on Piers Morgan, I actually learned that before World War II, in the United States of America, the actual way everyone did the Pledge of Allegiance was like this.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, that's the Nazi salute they're talking about? He did that? The Hail Hitler?
He did this.
Okay. Well, he does that, like, all the time. So, like, he makes that kind of gesture all of the time.
And he
So.
said "my heart" to you before he did it,
And was speaking in front of a crowd of people.
giving a speech.
So he could have been gesturing to
Explicitly,
everybody
explicitly
in the room.
expressing his gratitude from his heart to yours. And then he did that gesture, and then he turned around and did it again. Now, it looked a lot like a Nazi salute, but it clearly wasn't one.
Like I said, he does weird shit like that all the time.
Dude, it's the exact kind of shit that I would do. I mean, I'm not that dumb, but I would do some dumb shit like that. That's the kind of things I do.
Yeah, no, I could get caught slipping and do some shit like that.
Yeah,
Easily.
exactly. Right? I mean, let me take that back. I'm even worse. Like, it wouldn't be a Nazi salute with me. It would be like a fucking hard R in the Senate or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then you get, like, immediately fired.
Except no one could fire me. They would have to try to impeach me, which they would try to do since I'd be the president. And then they wouldn't have the votes because it's fucking impossible to impeach a dude. So it would be like, you know, someone may or may not try to assassinate me, but either way, there would be a cultural shift, and probably free speech might erupt.
Well, lovely state of affairs. Probably shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's why people don't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to get shot at.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a good plan.
But my plan, or at least the plan I thought of when I was 6, is to invent force fields.
Uh-huh.
And then say what the fuck I think.
Also not a terrible plan, I suppose.
Thank you. I'm here all day, folks.
Right in front of us. Because again, the whole basis for us having this discussion about what's bigotry, what's racism, what's anti-Semitism when it's right in front of us, the fact that you think I have to convince you of what I'm seeing means that you already think you have some kind of higher level of approval that I'm have to live up to. F you and your approvals. Bro, that's what it was. You don't have to like that I said that, but you can shut up and act like it. And
Fuck me and my approval. Well, guess what, buddy? I don't say fuck you and your approval. I care about you and your approval. So how do you like them apples? Which one of us is the piece of shit now, huh? You tell me. It's a simple question.
and stop telling me what I can tell you what something is. So that's what it was, plain and simple. The guy's had messages he's talked about what he thinks are superior versus between different races. Dude talks about things. There's background to just him doing this salute. At an inauguration for the guy that you just helped get into office, at the moment when you think this is the best thing ever, and bro, you can say my heart goes out to you and still throw a Nazi salute. It's the same thing. Who cares if you said that when you did it? It's what it is. So, the main point after all this in our discussions about whether or not this is a Nazi salute is Nazis said it was a Nazi salute. They said, we're back. This is awesome. Did Elon just do a Nazi salute at the inauguration? F yes, we're back. That's what they're saying. So maybe if you have an issue with anybody taking this up and thinking that it's a Nazi salute, maybe take it up with the Nazis who were celebrating that it was a Nazi salute. Stop coming after other people that then saw the same thing that Nazis saw. Kamala Harris and the Democratic ticket, they all talked about how Donald Trump was a fascist. You know who said he was a fascist? General Kelly, who worked with the dude who said he's a fascist. Stop coming at the people who repeated what the folks who were next to him said he is. So the fact that we're allowed...
No. Come at the neck of everyone who's wrong. Definitely curb stomp the Nazis, but also these people too.
Allowing folks to go off on these tangents and say, how dare you say that about someone? Yo, how about the people that you trust and agree with, the Nazis that support your party? Maybe take it up with them and tell them to stop calling Elon Musk a Nazi, because they called his ass a Nazi. Because when it comes to the ADL, I think it's pretty obvious. They got some pressure from folks who said, oh, because that's a little bit too far, because that's directly talking about us. And when it's a Nazi salute, he generally has bigoted views for everybody. Black folks, Latinos, and Jewish folks. Maybe we can skirt by with that. But when he's blatantly talking about the Holocaust and joking about it, which they regularly joke about the Holocaust and the genocide that was enslaved people in America, we joke about that pretty freely, and nobody really gives a damn. But once it's directly about this particular genocide and this Holocaust, we gotta say something. There's lines, there's levels of kinds of hierarchies that we're building in this country that we always had, but we're building further in this country, and we can have discussions about it, but I'm kind of done trying to convince folks that know the truth.
Yeah, I think like the gaslighting aspect of it is very exhausting. Just they're doing something, and I think Jenk said it was plausible deniability. That's how they're operating. They do something that they know is going to be misconstrued. They have to know, right? And there are people defending Elon, saying that maybe he didn't know, and we'll get to that in a minute. But there is they do the thing, and then they have to say that's not the thing that you saw. And it's like what Jen said, like, why is this even a conversation that we're having to have? And yeah, if the Nazis are identifying it as a Nazi salute, they're the ones who would know. They would know. If they say it is, then it is. Like, it just is. And even if it isn't, that's what it looks like. Don't do it. It's very hard to accidentally do that. And of course, everyone is on Twitter now.
No offense, but Jen clearly didn't pick you for your brains.
Like Tim Walz just being like, oh, hey guys, and saying like, look, there it is. He's also a Nazi. And it's like, it's so ridiculous. It's so exhausting. Real quick, I do want to just point out some of the people who are defending him are saying he's just a super awkward guy. And others are saying that it is because he's autistic. And that's why he did that. That's why, if you're autistic, that's what you do. Sometimes you do things that are a little anti-Semitic from time to time. That happens.
Fuck you
the
fucking
autistic
whore.
people are asking the rest of us to please not excuse Elon's behavior on these grounds. So Elon Musk has Asperger's. He tends to have a lot of his more eccentric behavior excused by his fans, either on the grounds of autism or just being like really rich and out of touch with the rest of the world. But a lot of experts are saying, no, this is not how autism presents in the world. One, Shay Belsky, a Jewish person and an autistic self-advocate, said, autism does not make it impossible for someone to feel shame, empathy, or guilt for their actions. And I don't believe for a second that Elon was oblivious to what he was doing. Another expert, Lauren Dawson, says,
wow. No, I can't do this. I'm a third into this fucking video. Oh, these people are unwatchable. If Jenk is the best one and he's barely watchable. This is ridiculous. Listen, when Elon Musk says he's a Nazi, alright, or when he says some shit like, all these problems we have, it's because of the Jews. Okay? I'm gonna need something like that before Elon is a Nazi, okay? Until then, it's clearly not even debatable, and these people are fucking insane for debating it, for needing to debate it, and this girl here is particularly vapid. Anyway, have a nice day.